show live from TikTok. Then we're going to be doing it from Instagram. We're doing it on Facebook. We're doing it. What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name is Dr. Christopher Salute. I'm your host of the Barber Shop. We are live on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. I'm like, I got to adjust that. Like, you have so many different platforms. Like, this is like, what's the movie 10 Things I Hate About You with Drew Barrymore, who, by the way, looked me up and down once. I kid you not. And Drew Barrymore says, it's like when you're getting rejected, you've got to get rejected. You've got to check all your platforms, like MySpace. And this was back in the day, like MySpace and email and text message and like all these different things, right? So you get rejected on all of them. Hey, Sarah, how are you? So if you're just joining live on TikTok, or can I change? Oh, maybe I should change it. Hold on. You know, I'm going to change it to a thing. Hold on. I'm going to change the TikTok. Wait, one sec. Come back. Okay, it's fine. Hold on. We're going to go back live and we're going to name the show. We're not driving around Vegas. We are podcasting. This way people they like know what they're in for. Sorry. So I'm your host of the show, Dr. Christopher Salute. We are watching WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. Tonight's show with CC running the ones and twos down below is called The Letdown. What is The Letdown all about? What can you expect for the show, The Letdown? The Letdown is how to let someone know it's just not a good fit. So tonight we're going to be on Facebook Live. So you can check us out on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. You can check us out there. I'm going to invite people onto the show. How do I do that? No, I don't want to flip the camera. I want to share. Yeah, okay. Send to you. I'm going to send to you. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, goodness. This is a lot of fun. So we're going to be on TikTok for a second. Then we're going to be on, we're going to do TikTok. Then we're going to do Instagram. Then we're going to do, I don't know who you are, so I just don't want to invite people that I don't know yet. So we're going to do TikTok for 10 minutes. We're going to do Instagram for 10 minutes, and I'll show you where to go for the rest of the show so that you're not like missing the show. And if you're watching on TikTok, I'm sorry, you're going to get like my profile face. I have like my little phone thing here, and I got to watch both things. So we always start the show off with a couple of updates on me. Then I like to just have like a quick moment of silence, kind of meditation, spirituality thing. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to jump into the letdown. So if you're just joining, the letdown is about how to let someone know it's not a good fit. And I'll be honest with you, this is a convoluted topic because it's like I've been talking to friends for the past couple of weeks. It's like, are you even dating? Like, what are you? You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, how do I let somebody down when we're not even dating, right? So let me just grab a little bit of my club soda. I brought out the fancy stuff tonight. It's called Q. I hope they sponsor Q Club. I've been drinking you for like months now because I don't drink really. I had maybe 6-7 beers in the past 5 months and like 1 or 2 martinis, or maybe even less beers, to be honest. So when people bring out the fancy stuff, I'm all about, let me get me some club soda, you know? So tonight we're going to talk about the letdown. I'm going to give you a quick update on me. We're going to hop into some cool stuff. We're going to give you an update on the show. So quick update on me is if you've been following our show for, I don't know, CC, 2 years we've been doing it, a little bit longer. CC actually first interviewed me and then was like, I want to give you a show. And I was like, I want to have a show. So if you've been watching the show for a while, you know what I'm about. I've been running a plus size media company now for 10 years. We are the largest plus size magazine company in the world. It's fun to say. It's exciting to say. And I'm going to be doing TikToks about this. I'm going to be writing a blog about this. I'm going to be stepping away from the magazine sooner than later. I feel as though as a hetero male who dates plus size women, even though I am a safe person, I am always going to be part of a space that is going to be questioned with regard to safety. And there's a lot going on in those communities right now where men are using, they're using their body positivity to manipulate women, to exploit women. And even I've been accused of that. It's unfounded, but I've been there, and I don't want to to be in that space and create a discomfort. Old Mandy says, I'm a plus size man. Any clothes for them? I feel like I've forgotten breathe. Oh, let's chat, man. So my company does represent plus size men as well, even though I'm taking a step back. I have some resources for you. I'd be happy to share with you. If I don't follow you, just like comment on one of my TikToks, and I'll follow you and I'll DM you for sure. But I'd be happy to. So that said, I'm going to be focusing on a few things. I'm going to be focusing on this radio network. We're actually creating a podcast network that we're going to pair with those magazines as we're selling them for plus size women and marginalized people in general to showcase themselves on podcasts. And it's not going to be about being plus or being marginalized or LGBTQ or whatever. It's just going to be people just doing their thing, right? So that's going to be super exciting. I'm talking with Cece a little bit about moving my show to a different night because I'm not marginalized, right? Like, and I need to slow down. This club soda just gets you so wired. I had a lot of sugar today. I'm going to be probably moving my show to a different night to avoid any confusion. I want to showcase marginalized people in a way that they can be showcased and move into a different direction. And I'll be focusing on a couple of other things. I have 3 books coming out in the next 2 years-ish. One's definitely coming out sooner than later. I'll be focusing more on my writing, focusing more on a couple of other sites that I'm building out, focusing more on my consulting, on that kind of stuff. And so that's where I'm going to be heading. So you'll see that kind of movement, right? So, it has to kind of do with this show a little bit. I had met somebody a couple of weeks ago, and she was really an elevated person. And I realized at that point that I was playing in a different sandbox than I should be. And so I'm going to accelerate that process a little bit earlier so that I can do the things that I want to do and be excited about them and give the space to the people who deserve the space, So that's kind of what's been going on with me. I'm going to be heading out to Reno tomorrow for work. I do just want to take a quick moment of silence. I am a prayer. You don't have to be a prayer. I understand that Catholicism and Christianity can be problematic for some people, but if you're spiritual at all, if you believe in any karma in the universe, let's just take a second and just give it up to the people that we want to give it up to. I'm going to make a TikTok about this. Actually, interestingly enough, when I used to go through a breakup, the first thing I would do is go on Tinder. Now, when I go through a breakup, the first thing I do is I just say a quick prayer, like bless that person. I hope that person finds what they're looking for. So if that's what you're doing, do it. We'll take a quick moment. Okay, cool. So we're going to get into the meat of the show. I don't even know if I want to get off TikTok. Like, y'all are having fun, but if I do wind up getting off TikTok and moving over to Instagram, you can find the link for WGSN. You can find the YouTube channel right in my Shorby, which is right on my profile, or just go on Facebook, hit up WGSN-DB Going Solo, and you'll see everything. And the shows are a lot of fun. So feel free to comment on TikTok, comment on Facebook. I love the interaction. So tonight's show, what are we talking about? The letdown. It's all about how to let people down when you're not feeling it anymore. And it is such a complex topic because there are so many different ways in which we engage with people that how do you let them down in a way that matches the energy that they've given you? It's interesting. It's very interesting. So I'm going to talk a bit about my experience, and then I'm going to jump into, what I typically do. If you haven't seen the show before, the format is we hop into my experience. Then I like to reference a couple of movies and books that are, kind of give it a funny spin. Then we go into what I kind of think are the right things to do. And then we hop into what the experts say. And often I agree with the experts. Sometimes I don't. I have a feeling tonight I might not. So we'll see. So this show was supposed to air a couple of weeks ago. And I'm glad it didn't, because I've had some experiences, and I'm not going to share names, dates. You know me, I share amalgrams, and that's it. I don't share people's names. If I've heard people, well, you do a show on dating. What if I go on a date with you? Or are you going to share my details? No. What kind of an idiot would do that, right? So if I ever share an experience, it's typically an experience that I've combined, right? Like a different combination. And so, and this is an experience that I've happened often. I tend to find myself in precarious situations where I get to meet people who, through, I don't know, luck or my jobs or whatever, where I get to meet people who I've admired. And I got to meet somebody that I truly, truly wanted to meet, and I admired them. And the minute I connected with that person, we decided to go out. And I had to, if you know me, I say, I'm a former player. I'm a recovering player. So I don't really talk to too many folks on, about dating and stuff like that. But, I've been aggressively trying to find like the one, so before I met this person or spoke to this person, I was kind of dating around a little bit, and I had to have some uncomfortable conversations about, what was going on. And what made it worse was I hadn't even met this person, but I just knew that there was this connection that I wanted to explore, and I knew that I wanted to put my heart into it, and I knew that I wanted to put all of my effort and all of my love and all the great things that I hold sacred to myself into this. Excuse me. It was actually a cool thing. So I get choked up a little bit, but I wanted to put myself into this situation, and I had to have some uncomfortable conversations. And, there's no good way to say to someone, look, I'm not interested in this anymore. And I'll take it a step further. I don't think there's a good way to do it without offending someone and without divulging details that will offend someone, because, you say, look, I don't think this is the right thing for us. I think that I want to move into a different situation. I think, whatever. Even if you say, I want to see other people, which is kind of like a nice way to say it. Well, what other people? What are you talking? Who do you want to see? Yeah. And so there were a couple of folks that I had either gone on a date with or who was just casually talking to, getting ready to go on a date with. And I said to them, look, this thing has kind of showed up in my life, and it's something that I want to put my best foot into. And I'll be honest, this is a new thing for me, because normally in my dating life, let's say 2 years ago, I would want the option to go back to someone. And I said, you know what? I don't want that option. I want to talk to this person, and that's what I want to do. So I said, this is what I'm thinking, and this is what's going on. I had, one or two folks had said, you know what? Totally understandable. Do your thing. I completely understand that. And then I had one or two folks be like, well, what do you mean? Give me the details. What's going on? Why are you doing this? And blah, 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 blah. I need to know. And I just kind of said, look, it's not, it's something that has kind of shown up, and I want to talk to this person. And they said, it's actually two different people said, so you're telling me you haven't been answering me because you've been going on dates with other people? And I was like, no. I didn't even go on a date with this person. I haven't even met them yet. And they're like, so you didn't even meet this person? And now you're, so it's like, you can't say the right stuff. You know what I mean? You just can't. And so I really think it's such an interesting topic when we talk about the letdown. Now, what I want to do is I want to jump into my favorite part of the show, where we dive into some movies and some TV shows. So a couple of different movies and TV shows that I want to hop into, talking about breakups. The first one's was kind of indicative of my, what kind of happened with me. If anybody's seen the movie Phenomenon, has anybody seen that movie Phenomenon with it's John Travolta and I can't remember his name. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it because he's freaking phenomenal. He's one of my favorite actors, and of course I can't remember him. Phenomenon movie. Forrest Whitaker. I didn't even have to Google it. It came to me. Forrest Whitaker. And Forrest Whitaker is like hung up on, is it what's her name? Diane Danes maybe, or is it Diana Ross? Diana Ross. And he's every show. He's like, Diana, if you're out there, like, let me know. I love you. I probably should have been doing this to the person that I wanted to go on this date with, because maybe I would have had a better shot. But finally, he meets this woman who he falls in love with, and he gets right on his radio show and he goes, Diana, I have to let you know, it's over. I just met an angel. And like, Diana Ross has never answered him. Like, it's funny, The next show, or the next movie that I want to talk about is The Breakup, right? Pretty straightforward, right? It's The Breakup. It's Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn, and they're breaking up, and they're deciding who's going to get the condo and who's going to get the stuff and who's going to get the things, and they're parading around in their underwear trying to make each other jealous, and that's probably the wrong way to break up with someone, right? We're going to get into Seinfeld in a second, and then I'll jump into Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So Forgetting Sarah Marshall, they break up, and I think this is like the worst way to break up with someone. She goes, Peter, as you know, I love you. And he's like, oh my God, you're breaking up. Like, that is the worst way to start a breakup. Like, I love you, but now I'm going to hurt you, right? So I'm going to jump into Seinfeld at the break. But right now what we're going to do is, if you're watching on TikTok, I'm going to shut y'all down. We are going to actually hop into Instagram right now and go live on Instagram for about 10 minutes and kind of get them onto the show. But this is WGSN, so you can go right on my show and check it out. And it's right on my Shorby. So I'll see y'all later. And then we're going to hop into the 10 worst breakups in Seinfeld history, which I think are funny. Okay, so we're going to do that. And now, sorry, folks on Facebook. This is kind of fun, though. Like, I'm juggling some stuff. You know what I mean? How was your live broadcast? It was great. Awesome. Thank you for asking. We're going to do that. Cool. And then we're going to hop into Instagram. So let's do this. Let's go Instagram live. I mean, what a great world we live in. Like, I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. This thing goes on YouTube. It goes on Spotify. It goes on, hey, what's up, Instagram? If you're just joining, we are watching, we are doing the show, The Barber Shop, on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. So we're going to have some folks come on in here in a second. Super excited about it. So we'll let that kind of run. So right now we're going to hop into the top 10. And if you're just joining on Instagram, these are the this is the show, The Breakup. This is the barbershop show called The Breakup. So we're talking about letdowns, how to let somebody down. And we're going to hop right into the 10 worst or 10 kind of funniest, most ridiculous breakups on Seinfeld, which I think is hysterical. So, and then we're going to jump into kind of a little bit more of my experience. It'll be a lot of fun. So the first one is, you guys will remember this one. This is the number 10 breakup from Seinfeld. It's called the Soup Nazi, right? We began our countdown with Jerry breaking up with his girlfriend in the middle of the soup line, right? Does anybody remember that? Like, right in the middle of a soup line. Is that I don't know. Do we break up with people in the middle of a soup line? Like, what, do you do it in public? You know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. So that was the number 10 one. Lizzie, he breaks up with, it's the Fogger, right? She was annoying. She was a sentence finisher. So he actually winds up breaking up with her in a big argument, and breaking up with her then. Then there's Police Sergeant Kathy. He breaks up with her. He breaks up with her because she gives him a polygraph test, which I think is funny. Channy says, where are the soup lines at? At the soup kitchen. 1,000% at the Soup Nazi soup kitchen. I'm going to skip the pick one because I didn't really remember that one that well. We'll go with number 5, the Bizarro Jerry. So this is Jillian he breaks up with. Poor Jillian and her man hands. That's the one with the man hands, right? So sure, they were highly functional. She could easily open up bottles of beer, but visually they were like a creature out of Greek mythology, which I think is a little hurtful. Part woman, part beast, I think is terrible. Too bad she couldn't have had hooks. So he breaks up with her because of the man hands. Then we get into Dolores, the junior mint, right? He breaks up with her over the junior mints. Then Donna, the phone message, which I think is hysterical. So he breaks up with Donna with a phone message. And then lastly, Claire is the voice. The plot lines, which is one of the final seasons, Claire discovered that he and his friends have been imagining that when she falls asleep, she has a little voice that comes out of her. So it's like, remember the hello, la, la, la. So Claire isn't impressed, gives Jerry an ultimatum, lose the voice, or break up with her. And obviously, Jerry says, hello, and breaks up with her. So those are the top 10 worst breakups in Seinfeld history. I think they're pretty funny, but what they tell me is these are not the ways in which we're going to break up with folks, right? The whole thing is, you want to be, when you're letting someone down, you want to be as genuine as possible, and you want to ensure and assure that they have your utmost respect and you're giving them the utmost integrity and the best possible energy. So we went through, if you're just joining, we went through Phenomenon when he breaks up with Diana Ross. We went through the breakup, which I think is absolutely hysterical. I mean, Vince Vaughn, whenever Vince Vaughn gets into an argument, it's just like my favorite thing. He actually speaks like me. He's got that because he's from Boston, right? So he's got that Chicago, but he's got that very fast-paced kind of, and especially in the breakup, he's like stuttering a little bit. And he's like, "Wow, I didn't know that your gay brother and his entire gang of people were going to beat the crap out of me." Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like the funniest thing. And I mean, that movie in general and Vince Vaughn in general is hysterical. One of my favorite things that he does in the movie Swingers, and we talked about Swingers constantly. Swingers is without a doubt one of the best movies because he's got this like swag about it. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna be beautiful babies. What are you talking about? Like, you're money, baby. You don't even know it. You're so money. You're like a big bear, man. You're like a big bear, you know." And he does the whole scene where he's crying about he plays the part of Big Brother, and he's supposed to be like a 12-year-old kid. He's just a funny dude. I would definitely have him play me, or I would have Ben Affleck play me. I don't know if Ben Affleck could play me because of the Boston accent. Like I'm super New York, so I'm trying to imagine Ben Affleck being me and being like, because I like when I talk to my dad, I'm like, "Yo, Pops, what's going on? Like, how's Brooklyn? How's New York? You got bagels?" It's kind of like I put on that real New York show. I wonder if Vince Vaughn could do that, or if Ben Affleck could do that, or if everything would be like, yeah, I parked the car over by the bagel place. Like I don't know if he would do that. Like, and he says the F word, like feckin', like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'll feckin' kill you. Like, I don't know if my accent with his accent would kind of clear it, but he's definitely a badass, So I would definitely ask him or my boy Vince. But in the breakup and in Swingers, these are two I'd say of the coolest ways that you're going to break up with people. In fact, in Swingers, at the very end, and then we're going to take a break. We'll jump into my experiences. In Swingers, the whole movie, right, is about, in the very beginning. I was talking to my life coach about this. He says, "Well, how do you know?" Like, you're catching it mid conversation. He had just broken up with his girlfriend because did he though? Because he left New York to go to LA. Did he break up with his girlfriend, or did he just go to New York? Did he go to LA? I don't know. Leads you to believe he went to LA and his girlfriend's like, "No, I'm not gonna, I'm just not gonna be able to stay with you." I see Fatty Van Frankenstein says, "Wedding Crashers, you motorboating son of a bitch." I think Vince is perfect, or Young Tom Hanks. Young Tom Hanks, I'd be down with. I get Ted Mosby a lot from what's that show with Doogie Howser? I can't think about How I Met Your Mother, but where were we? Oh, so in Swingers, they're talking about. Shelley says the breakup was awful. I'm so it was okay, I agree, but I'm sorry you didn't like it. So in the beginning of the movie, it's Vince Vaughn. I'm sorry, it's Jon Favreau and the other guy, and they're mid conversation. You get them mid conversation, and they're basically like, "Yeah, How I Met Your Mother." Thank you. They're basically like. Oh, Cece says we need to take a break. So you know what? We're going to take a 30-second break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Swingers. If you're on Instagram Live, I'll hang out with you in a second. Stay with me. And if you're with our show, this is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. We're going to take a break so we can pay some bills. Cece run on the ones and twos down below. This is called The Letdown. That's my club soda. And we are talking about breakups, how to not do them right. Or how to not do them and how to do them right. All right, we'll see you all in a second. You're watching The Barber Shop. Your host, Dr. Christopher Salute. I am so sorry. If you're on my Instagram Live, I think I like burped a little bit. or two. And if you're on Facebook, you are back in action with WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. I'm your host of The Barber Shop. My name's Dr. Christopher Salute. Tonight we are talking about The Letdown, and it's really funny because I spoke to a couple of friends today, and one person said, "You don't know how to do it." And then another person said, "Pretty ironic that you're talking about The Letdown given your current situation." And if you didn't catch the first couple of minutes because you're on Instagram or you just caught the middle of the show, I had a big letdown. I was I'm not going to recap the whole thing. It was a personal thing, but there was somebody that I truly, truly admired and very much wanted to explore with and go on a journey with. And it was a journey, but they ultimately decided that it wasn't it wasn't going to be for them. And so it did not inspire the show because the show was actually supposed to air a couple of weeks ago. We had some Wi-Fi issues, but it's just very interesting that we're talking about this given my current situation. And the current situation was that I have recently been let down. And like I said, I don't share details about one person. Like if you're a friend of mine and you say, "Am I ever going to be on your show?" Yes and no. You'll always be on my show because I'm going to talk about things that happen in my life. But I meet enough people and I experience enough things. And we've talked about this earlier on the show. I'm a recovering player. Okay. So I used to date a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I wasn't a Netflix and chill guy. I wasn't that guy at all. I was a dater. I went on dates. And not because I wanted to sleep around. It's really not what I wanted. I thought maybe that's what I wanted, but it wasn't. I really was trying to find my queen. And I realized that, you can't go to a shoe store and try on every shoe in the store and think that you're going to find the best pair of shoes. You kind of have to wait it out. You gotta look for what you want. You want to find what you want. You want to, figure out what I was a serial dater. You want to really find, well, you're allowed to say serial dater. I was a player, unfortunately. And that's just a double standard. But you know what? Women deal with enough double standards. We'll take a few of them. So if you want to find the one you're looking for, it's not, you don't go into the grocery store and get every box of cereal and try them out. You have to really be selective, and you have to be intentional about who you are and what you want to do. And so back in the day, I used to date a lot, and now I don't really anymore. But so when I talk about people on my show, it's never one person. Even when I talk about, oh, I met this celebrity or I met this person who runs this business, I've probably met 5 people like that. I just meet people. I love talking to people. So we were just about to talk about real quick how Swingers started and ended. And Swingers started and ended with Jon Favreau talking to his buddy, and in the middle of the conversation, he says, "Well, how do they know that you're going to be over them?" And it's literally how you catch it. And he's talking about women. And it's really how a woman will call you the minute you are over them. The minute you are done, you do not want to be with them anymore. They know to call you and confuse the crap out of you. And it's just an interesting thing. So, and he's like, all right, well, what if I pretend to get over her? Then she'll call. Right? He's like, yeah, well, it's probably not like that. It's really more like you're going to start by pretending to get over them, and then you're going to actually get over them, and then that's when they're going to call. So by the end of the movie, he's waiting for this girl, Michelle, his squeeze from New York, to call him, and she does. But he had just met this woman, Lorraine, who he was immediate connection with, and he gets off the stage. He says, we sense it. It's a talent. Well, I wish your talent was to sense it a minute before so that I could still be interested. Like, stop. I want that person, So he winds up, he's talking to Lorraine on the phone, and his ex-girlfriend, Michelle, calls, and he says to her, "I need to get off the phone with you. I have another call." And she's like, "Well, can't you just put him on hold?" And he's like, "No, I can't." And he freaking hangs up the phone on this woman who he's been wanting to talk to for an entire 2-hour length movie. And to me, it's a beautiful story about his overcoming dependency and his finding his own swag and his, everything. AGPY says, "What do you want?" Oh, we'll get into that in another show. That happens with men too. It probably does. It probably does. You know what? So I'm sure it definitely does. I typically don't watch like shows that are centered around women's dating because I'm a man and I'm a hetero man. So I'm going to watch Swingers over whatever the equivalent of that is on the female side. It's the same way that, I'll watch The Hangover and people go, oh, Bridesmaids is just as good as The Hangover. It may be to you. To me, because I've experienced some of the things on the movie The Hangover, that to me is like the best possible, it's incredible. So that's why. But you're probably right. If there's a movie about that, please do DM it to me so that I can look that up. And if not, then I appreciate that. So we've gone through the movies. We've gone through some of my personal experience. I'm going to tell you a bit about what I think should be happening during a letdown. And then we're going to jump into what the experts say. But if you are watching on Instagram, this is when we say goodbye, because you can watch the rest of the show on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio, which is on Facebook. It's also on my Shoreby. So this is just kind of a quick teaser to get everybody excited. So jump right onto Facebook, and you can see it there. I will see Instagram later, and hopefully I can save it because it's a lot of fun. I'll see y'all later. Bye. And now I want to share it. Oh, I want to download it, and I'm going to share it. Oh, yeah. Share it. This is like, what kind of life do we live right now? I can share, like, look at this. This is crazy. Watch. I'm picking up my cell phone. I'm sharing the show from one platform to the next, called the Barber Shop. Barber Shop. The Letdown. And I'll just voice record. Ready? How to let somebody know you are not interested anymore. Like, come on. Come on with this. Like, are you kidding? Life is great. We are in the future. We're in the future right now. It's ridiculous. I think it's crazy. So now I'm going to post it. And now that it's posting on my Instagram, it was on my TikTok. Now it's on Facebook. It's crazy. So if you're just joining us from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, what's up? How you doing? If you're on YouTube, how's it going? If you're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever, totally appreciate what you have going on. Thank you so much for being you. Let's talk a little bit about the actual letdown. And let me just make sure that posted to my Instagram because I want to make sure. Oh, there it is. Sweet. Cool. And it posted to my IGTV radio, which I love, or IGTV. Cool. All right. Dope. So here's a couple of things that I would do when letting someone down. So what I did is I felt as though the energy needs to be matched. Right? So if I'm texting with you, I'm going to text you. If I've been dating you, I'm going to, at the very least, call you. But most likely, try to see you in person. If we have gotten to the point where we've been phone calling or FaceTiming, I'm going to use that mode. I'm going to make sure that I match my energy, what you have given to me, with the way that I'm going to break up with you. And that's the way that I want to do it, right? I don't know if that's the right way, but I think that's the right way. So if we've gone on a date, for example, even if it's just been one date, I'm at the very least going to try to call you. If we've been texting, then I'll just text. Look, if you're Snapchatting with somebody, you could probably just let it go. If you're Instagram or TikToking, or you're in somebody's DMs or they're in your DMs, you can probably just let it go. Once you've exchanged a phone number, I think you've got a little bit more of an obligation to match the energy. If you match the energy, I think you're probably not going to steer yourself wrong. Now, have I always matched the energy? No. In fact, I can think about recently a time in which I didn't match the energy. I'd gone on a date with somebody, and the thing happened where I didn't want it to, I wanted to focus on this other person who had come into my life, and I texted them, and you know what? Shame on me. Texted them, and they got ticked off, and that'll totally happen because you know what? They deserved the energy that they matched, which was a date. I should have probably taken that for a cup of coffee or at least called them on the phone and had that conversation with them. But you know what? Shame on me for doing that. Now, I'll tell you what was done with me, with one of the last people that gave me a letdown. Dating, went on a date. We talked on FaceTime and phone and texting, and just constant communication. Like a half a day after the date happened, with zero communication, I got a freaking text message that basically said, I'm not interested. And I can tell you, I didn't so much care. Well, I cared that it was a letdown. But the way in which that happened, in my opinion, was not cool. And I would tell them it's not cool if I had the opportunity to, but I didn't because it was just a text message. And you know what? It shows you and it reminds you that you need to treat people with the same energy that they are treating you with. And that is something that I missed out on, for sure. And I've done that to people, and it's been done to me, and it totally, totally stinks. So my thing is, whatever the breakup method that you use, make sure that you're matching the energy that the relationship had, right? If all you did was text, then all you need to do is text. Now, you can take it further. You can meet in person. You can have a phone call. But that's all I think you're obligated to do in a way that satisfies the breakup. If you slept with someone, you'd better not break up with them in a text message. You better not use Snapchat. You better not Instagram them. You better call them at the very least, or at the most, if you've been dating and you slept together, cup of coffee, dinner. Let's have a conversation together. Come over. I want to talk to you. That is what somebody deserves. If they've given you that level of intimacy, that is what they deserve. And intimacy comes in many forms. It doesn't even need to be physical. If you have shared intimate moments with someone, you better break up in an intimate fashion. And I believe that 1,000%. Now, do I always do that? No. And I need to do that. But I'd say 80-20. I'd say I've matched the energy of the relationship. And that's pretty good. Now, what do the experts say about the letdown, about the breakup? Let's talk about what they say. Couple of different ones. So I have two different sites. This is called The Date Mix. The Date Mix says how to tell someone you're not interested after a few dates. And then we're going to jump into Insider Magazine. And the title of this one, you're going to love this one. Ready? How to break up with someone you're not even officially dating. Now if that is not a 2021 title, I don't even know. So let's hop on. How to break up with someone after a few dates. Okay? Number one, think about why you're not interested. I like this. Why are you not interested? Were you a little too eager to connect with someone after a few months of being single? That could be. If they legitimately scared you, like by sending 90 text messages in a night saying they think that they're in love, or they start showing up at your apartment uninvited, then it's acceptable to ghost them. If not, then you really want to think about the method that you're using, right? I had somebody, and again, it happened often. It's not just one time. I've had somebody send 40 plus text messages. 40 plus. To me, I don't know if I want to be in the room with that person. I'm okay with saying, you know what? I'm going to text you a breakup, And it wasn't really a breakup. Typically in those times, nobody I've ever dated has ever sent me 40 text messages, okay? If they are nice, then you be nice, right? If there's chemistry there, then be polite. If they're rude, you don't have to be as nice, but, whatever. Now, they say send a text if you're bad with words. I do not agree. They say, hey, it was great meeting you, but I don't think it's going to work out. It's much better than avoiding the topic altogether. Yes. I think you should give the person you're seeing the dignity of a little bit more than a text message. That's just me. Let them know you might not be in the same place as them. I agree with that. Maybe you're not vibing the same way they're vibing. Treat them with respect, 1,000%. Make sure to sandwich the rejection with compliments. I don't know that I care about that if they're not genuine. So if they're genuine, great. But it's like in the movie The Breakup, right? Like, Peter, as you know, I love you. You know what I mean? Which is funny, but like not the way I'm going to break up. As you know, you're great. But we're going to break up. Nah, not so much. Don't try to push for friendship just yet. Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that. Might be awkward, that kind of stuff. So that's what the Date Mix has to say. Let's jump into, and I for the most part agree. Let's jump in. This is my favorite. Had a breakup with someone you're not even officially dating. This is from Insider Magazine. Even if you weren't officially dating someone, it's still important to end things respectfully. I do agree with that. Talk to the person soon after you've made up your mind and try to do it face-to-face. Thank you, Insider. Be honest, kind, and avoid talking about shortcomings. 1,000%. Okay. I had somebody recently tell me there were some alerts, some alarms that I'm experiencing, like red flags. Okay. First of all, I am the most genuine, literally the most genuine person you're ever going to meet. And I love love. And I want nothing more than to treat the person that I fall in love with like a queen. So whatever alarms you think you might have seen, don't know what to tell you. Those might be internal, and that's fine. And I think they might have even said that. But that word is going to turn people off. That hurts people, right? So choose your words, right? Choose your words carefully. Have the talk as soon as you know that you don't want to continue. I agree with that. You get these festering, really unfortunate feelings because you're resentful. They're resentful. It starts to slide. Don't do it. Just end it. Just end it because you know it's ending. So do it. If possible, try to meet face to face. 1,000%. They said that. Choose an appropriate time and place for the conversation. Yeah. Make sure you've got the time and you're in a place and in a setting in which you can do that, right? Super important. Be as honest and kind as possible. Lead with I statements and mention the positives. Does it say? See, I would say I feel. Oh, okay. They say I've been feeling super overwhelmed and exhausted versus you're taking up too much of my time. Yeah, 1,000%. And then don't fib about wanting to remain friends. If you want to make friends, then remain friends. Try not to send mixed signals after the breakup. That's where a lot of folks, I think, do get in trouble because you might not miss the person, but you miss the compatibility. You might miss the intimacy, the physical intimacy. You might miss having someone next to you. You might miss the intelligence. For me, typically, most people who end it with me come back and they'll ask me a question or they'll want to talk about something intelligent because most women, and I mean that, I'm not trying to like be a jerk, who date me are very attracted to smart men. So they enjoy the intelligence that I bring to the relationship. So that's typically where that kind of like mixed signal comes back and what are they called? Attraction to intelligence. Word. There we go. Thank you, Google. Sapiosexual, right? So most people I typically interact with are sapiosexuals. They either identify as or they are. And so you'll typically get a message, something like they want to talk about something intelligent. You know what I mean? It's that kind of conversation. In some cases, it's best to just break contact completely. I agree. Continuing to hook up is a recipe for hurt feelings. It could be, but I don't know. One or two folks that I broke up with, I wanted to continue hooking up with that I didn't, but wanted to. Disconnect on social media to help both of you move on. Yeah, we've done that. It's hurtful. Understand that the other person may not have considered the relationship to be casual. That's important. Understanding that, understanding that, and I'm going to use a metaphor, I don't know if it's the right metaphor to use, but this is the one I'm going to use. Somebody once said to me, you come home and your dog has been waiting for you all day. And you come home and you're busy and you're distraught and you brush your dog aside and you go get changed and you do all these other things before you greet your dog. Your dog has you in their life. You have other things going on. Treat your dog with that kindness and respect. And it really made me think. Now, I'm not going to say that people are like dogs, but you may have other things going on in your life. Your partner that you're breaking up with or whatever may not be casually seeing other people, may not realize that this is a casual thing, may not realize that you didn't think it was a big deal, right? And so you need to really be on that level with that person and to let them know that you cared for them, you respected them, and you were genuine. You know how you fix all that? By doing that in the beginning, by not treating someone like they're an option, by treating someone like they are the, whatever, number 3, 4, 5 thing in your life, right? Because they should be. You've got your work, your family, whatever, and then comes that person. The problem is that we are so casual with how we link up. We are so casual with how we hook up. We are so casual with how we treat people that we have to have lists about how to break up with them because we don't know anymore. And that is why I disagree with a lot of what's going on the internet, because we shouldn't have to think about this. If you have broken up with someone, you should have been dating that person with integrity, respect, honor, and faith. Therefore, you break up with them with respect, integrity, honor, and faith. And that's the way it should end, no matter what. Now, they say, above all, don't ghost. I agree. Do not ever ghost somebody. I don't care. Unless you're in danger, unless there's abuse. No need to ghost somebody. You can speak to them in a way that is respectful, honors them as a person, and lets them know you are just not interested. So what did we learn today? We learned, number one, I'm not the best person as a breakupper. Number two, I take breakups very sensitively. Number three, there are breakups and letdowns within every possible movie and TV show you could possibly think of. And number four, what I think is the most important thing that we take away from this is matching the energy. Match the energy of the person that you are dating. Match the energy of the person that you are dating from beginning to end. Match the energy of the person that you are dating when you are no longer dating them. Let them know that you honor, trust, respect, and have integrity about the relationship at hand. And that will always lead to a better break than anything else you could possibly do. There's no formula for this. There's no social media algorithm for this. This is life. This is heart and mind and soul and all the things, and gut, and all the things that make up who we are. And when you get let down by somebody, it hurts. Whether you saw it coming or you didn't, it hurts. The best way to soften that blow is to treat people with kindness and respect. And the best way to do that is to treat them with kindness and respect throughout the entire relationship. That is it. I was your host from the Barber Shop, WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. I'm Christopher Salute. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And cut.